Hello, I wanted to just record this quick, I guess it would be a meditation, a quick kind of inquiry, if you like, into the present moment, into space, into silence, into the stillness which is just at the moment when I go out for my daily allowance of exercise. The stillness and the silence is incredible and palpable. It's of course eerie. On one level, it's disturbing knowing the amount of suffering that's going on all over the world, the numbers of people getting sick and the numbers of people dying of this very unforgiving virus that is spreading all through the world. There's really nothing I can say about that that's going to be comforting to anybody. It's horrible. The pain and the suffering that are clearly happening, the intense pressure on so many people, particularly healthcare workers, nurses, doctors all around the world, is staggering. So one of the reasons that I'm wanting more and more to share these practices with my friends, with people that I know, with anybody who is interested in how to find some comfort, some peace, some presence of mind, some space and quiet amid all of this chaos. I want to help as much as I can. There's very little else I feel I can do in this current crisis. I'm there, of course, for my family and my friends, and should the need arise, I'll probably be jumping in a car and making deliveries to people in the community if there is a need for that. But right now, I feel I have something else to offer, and that is a way for us to practice just a little bit every day in finding some peace, some comfort, and some rest from the great deal of noise that's going on, probably in our heads mostly, and the great deal of chaos and suffering that's going on in people's lives. So obviously this isn't all just something that's happening inside people's heads as thoughts. These are real emergency situations that are happening in people's lives with people suffering. We can bring some response to that, I think, by taking some time. If we're on our own, there's often little we can do. A lot of the hard and heavy work is going to be left to the experts, to the professionals, to the emergency services. And most of us, the vast majority of us, are being asked to just stay at home, to just keep calm, I suppose, to do whatever we can. So this recording is really about sharing something that I have used for a long time now in my own life, nowhere near as frequently as I'm using it at the moment, but that tells you something. So I'm just going to take a moment now to be quiet. And just be. And just breathe, get comfortable. No matter what's going on in the mind, in the emotions, the sensations, there's probably a lot going on. But just for now, turn your attention to the silence. There will be noises happening in the silence, sounds around the home, sounds outside of the building, and there is always some form of movement usually within our beingness, within our bodies. The mind is often moving. Emotions move, feelings, sensations in the body. But there's something here that sees all of that. If we ask ourselves, are we aware of the silence? Can we look at the silence? Can we notice it? Can we hear it? Are we aware of the sounds arising in this moment? The sound of the birds outside, all the traffic. Here there's the sound of the washing machine doing its thing, the sound of my voice. Are we aware of that? Can we notice that we are aware of these sounds appearing in silence? Can we notice that we are aware of our feelings? Aware of the sensations of panic? Aware of the sensation of fear, of frustration, of anger, of sadness? Are we aware of the feeling of uncertainty? All these feelings arise within us, and we can be aware of them. We can stand apart for a moment and look at them. The same way with our attention, we can look at the sounds. We can notice that we are noticing them. What is it that's aware of those feelings, of the sounds? There is something here that is not afraid, that is not uncertain, that is not frightened, that is not panicked. There is something here that is not sad. There is something here that is not terrified. There is something here that is not any of those things that we can experience, and we do experience, and in many ways we should experience. But there is something here alongside all of that that is untouched by it. The same way the silence is not damaged by the sounds that are appearing in the silence. The silence makes room for all of the sounds. It accepts them. It allows them to be. There is something within us that is indestructible. And we can know it by looking simply at our capacity for awareness. Aware of the sounds in the silence, aware of the space in the room. When we become still and quiet, when we make room in our lives, in our day, for stillness, for quiet, reflection, we can feel this awareness, this silence, this presence. We can feel the comfort of the stillness. And I find it comforting to know that if that awareness is experienced here in my own body, mind, my own myself, then that dimension that cannot be destroyed, that dimension that is infinite, is within me, and it is within you, and we can know that it is. We can know that it is in us through a simple practice like this. Just a few minutes, just to listen, to notice. Things will often not be okay. Suffering is a part of life, and many people will suffer, have suffered, will always suffer. But there's something within our own experience that can bear that, something that can hold it. It's greater than us, and yet at the same time inseparable from us. And it can come through us if we allow it. If we allow our hearts to open and our minds to open and our sense of sensitivity to open to these dimensions of just stillness, space, silence, not knowing, emptiness. I think then if we can allow ourselves to become familiar with that innate sense of openness, when then we can be a channel really for compassion and kindness and action when it's needed. Thank you.